We're hopping in a video right now about men are from Mars, women are from Venus. This is day 3, takeaways from the book. I'm in chapter 8 right now, and what chapter 8 is talking about is what's called the Rubberband Effect. And what John Gray is getting at in this book is that once you have emotional intimacy, so once two parties are away, they feel attraction, they come together and finally have it, that what he's saying in the book is that the man will, once he has the intimacy, will feel a need for the lack of accomplishment and will go out into the world and get a sense of his own autonomy and try to go smash his goals. And so when you're close, you don't need it anymore. You feel the lack of accomplishment. Then you go off and you do your thing. And then after you're over here for a while, now you can feel the lack of intimacy, and then you come back together and are close. Now, the way he's characterizing it in the book is that this is something that men do. But from experience and from reading other shit, I know that this is something that both women and men do. Okay? So if you're dating a high quality woman, she's gonna have shit going on in her life. Or if your wife is a high quality woman, like, she's gonna have shit that she's doing in her life. And it's this ability to have your own shit going on at the same time that that's going on, and understand that it's a cycle of coming together and then going away again. And so it's interesting, as I'm listening to this, I'm hearing him phrase everything in terms of the two genders, because this book is an attempt at explaining the two different genders to each other. Okay? But sometimes when I listen to all this dating advice, so I listen to Coach Corey Wayne, who is it's a men's dating coach, and then I read David Data, who is a men's sort of guru about understanding women and how to be a man in general. And now I'm reading this book by John Gray, which is sort of like aimed towards both. But one thing I've noticed, and it's something I'm very curious about as a dating coach and as a relationships, not expert, but, somebody trying to devote themselves to this, right? Is that I think that a lot of this shit is universal, that it goes both ways. And I think for this, now I haven't read the next chapter, right? I'm in chapter 8 right now. I could turn around, chapter 9 could say, you know what, women run off, do their thing too, and that you just have to be willing to let them come back. And it's not a leaving. So what John Gray is saying in this chapter is like, okay, women, don't freak out if your guy, like, let's say you just had a great weekend together, everything's cool. Now all of a sudden he's focused on work for the next week. Like, don't freak out. It's not this weird, 180 where, everything is great. Now the next second you can't explain why that you don't have the same connection that you just did. He's saying that it's normal. So he's saying women understand men in this way. And what I'm saying in this video is that both parties need to understand this. Okay, because when I listen to Coach Corey Wayne, he phrases this to men. He says, hey guys, like, men are like dogs, women are like cats. Cats will come up to you and let you pet them when they feel like it, and then they're going to run off and be curious and do some other fucking thing, and you can't go try to pick them up. If a cat doesn't want to be around you, it's just going to go do its own thing and run the neighborhood. Maybe later on that day it'll come back and you can pet it then. And so this principle, this rubber band effect, it goes both ways. Okay, so if you're dating, or if your partner is a high quality person, they're going to have their own shit going on. You're going to come together, and then there's going to be things to do the next day or later that week, and so you're going to go apart. Well, what's funny is that you get comfortable with this cycle. You have trust in your partner. This is huge. Now, I've been with somebody that trust wasn't there. And so when it was like, when you come together, it's great, but then like when it goes away, now all of a sudden you're worrying about that other person all the time. Now that problem can be twofold, right? It can either be your own self-confidence, or it could be a legitimate trust issue with that other person. And in my case, it was a legitimate trust issue with that other person, which can make this whole rubber band effect thing a really miserable experience if you're in a relationship that's bad because of trust. And so you have to identify that, right? Which is hard to do, because once you're tied in, once you're attached to somebody and you love them, it's really hard to get out of a situation like that, even when you should. So I think, put that on your radar. But if you're with a trustworthy person, this rubber band effect is something that is fucking healthy, and it's perfect. So John Gray in the book, he gives this example. He says he had this couple that was married for 20 years, and it was like the woman was complaining, like, God, like all we ever do is watch movies, eat, and sleep. And she said, like, I feel like living with my husband is like living with a slug, and like we never do anything together anymore. And she was complaining, like everything just degenerated so much. And her complaint was like, well, dude used to be really romantic. Like, what happened? And what came to light through the seminar, so this is John Gray sharing his experience of the seminar in the book, which was that they never went off and did their own thing because they were both scared. They didn't realize that it was okay to do that. And so think about it from this perspective. When you're always here, there's no room for attraction. You have to go back, and then you can feel it, because life is about feelings, right? You go watch a great movie and it gives you feelings. You read a book, and a great book is supposed to give you feelings. Like everything is about feeling it, right? If you're not feeling it, it's not authentic. So that's the deal, right? So you want this. The rubber band effect it's natural. It's natural. If we're always here, it's going to be an issue. So you go away, you let that space be there, and hopefully you have trust in your relationship where it's an okay thing to have that space. And then you feel it, right? And then you're excited to come back together. And hopefully the guy's doing everything he's supposed to do, setting dates, etc., being the leader. And the woman can just, from there, just like relax and go with the flow and go on this amazing date, look hot that night or whatever. And it's a beautiful thing, and usually this is in a week cycle, right? So during the workday, you're both busy all throughout the work week. And then you come together on the weekend, and probably one of the days of the weekend, you're getting ready for the next week and doing errands and shit like that. But one night, a week at least, is going to be an exciting date night come together opportunity for you and your partner. So rubber band effect, it's good, it's healthy, you want this. And in the book, it's characterizing it as something men do as going away. But I know from personal experience it's something that both parties do. Now, it may say that later in the book, but this is my thought for the day, which is that just embrace it. Just embrace it. Have your own shit going on. Like, do cool shit in your life. Like, have your own cool shit that makes you feel good about yourself, that you can become distracted with, so that way when your partner is having this amazing life, that it doesn't bother you. In my marriage, I used to go to jiu-jitsu at 6 a.m., and before my ex-wife was even awake, I would be back in the house, showered up, whatever, ready to get the kids up. It did not even impact her whatsoever, and yet the fact that I was just going to do something for myself was a chief complaint for her. So you don't want to be the person that's hassling your partner like that, and you definitely don't want to be with somebody who's holding you back. So make sure you're with this kind of a person, right? Don't get yourself into that space. Or maybe, if that's the case, encourage each other to get out and do shit. But you have to, bottom line, you have to see reality. What is the dynamics of the way shit works, right, in relationships? And rubber band effect is one of these dynamics. So you want to embrace it, right? Don't go against physics. Just embrace physics and structure your life around it. So you have cool shit, they have cool shit. Rubber band effect, come back together, beautiful relationship. So that's all I have to say today. Hope y'all have a great Wednesday, and we'll talk to you later.